Hi everyone, welcome to Hummingbird Spirit Rising. Today I want to talk about spiritual awakening. I think this video is going to be one of a series of videos called Embracing, and it will be embracing something different. So today, as I said, we're going to look at spiritual awakening. I had my awakening, or a major spiritual awakening, 5 years ago in 2018. It was triggered by a profound connection, so romantic nature, but it had an absolutely massive impact, and I had a massive transformation as a result. I have considered if my awakening started before that point in 2018. It's as if maybe spiritual awakening is like a book, a big huge book of your whole life, where there's different chapters, and maybe I've had like smaller parts of awakening before that time in 2018, and the 2018 one was like the pivotal one, and then I've had more events to do with awakening after that. Or I've sort of thought, have I had mini awakenings before 2018 and after 2018, but 2018 was like the enormous one? I don't know. I'd love to hear your comments, your experiences, your stories of spiritual awakening. It's something that I am very, very interested in, and it's something that I've been going through for a long time. So my interest hasn't waned from that. One thing I can say about the 2018 experience is that it literally made me feel like I was losing my mind. Seriously, I thought I was losing it. I was going mad. There's a saying that I've seen, and you know what? I'm not 100% certain who invented the quote or whatever, because I've seen a few people say it's from someone different. So it's lose your mind. You have to lose your mind to come to your senses. So I've seen where it says Fritz Perls invented it, and then I've heard Socrates as well may have come up with it. Either way, I kind of feel like that's exactly what happened to me, that I literally had to lose my mind to come to my senses. And when I say my senses, I mean like self-love. There's always an element of self-love with spiritual awakening. There's an element of coming home to yourself. I definitely feel like I've been coming home to myself and accepting who I am and my path as well. One thing I can say, I mean, I've always been, as a kid, I was always into woo-woo sort of stuff. So like I loved supernatural related stuff. So The Worst Witch was one of my favorite childhood books. I was into Charmed, the original series, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, more so the film, if anybody's even aware of that there is a film from the 90s that was made. And I think I watched maybe the first 2-3ish series of Buffy, and then I kind of got bored with it. But yeah, I've always been into stuff like dreams, dream interpretation, astrology, although I'm not the most knowledgeable person on astrology, so mine is very basic level. Crystals, all sorts. I was always fascinated by magic. I also have a strange, I can't even explain what it is, something with death, where I like to read stories about near-death experiences. For some reason, I've got an interest in expressions of grief. Not in a weird, twisted sort of way, like I don't find it thrilling or anything, but there's just something about it that I don't know, it speaks to me, I guess. I don't know how else I would put that. But yeah, I've always been into that kind of weird stuff. But when my awakening, the major awakening in 2018 was triggered, it kind of led me to tarot, because I'd always checked out like horoscope stuff like that. And then I think I was watching Michelle Knight astrology videos on YouTube, and somehow it showed a tarot video about love readings, and that's how I ended up watching tarot. And not too long after, I got my own decks. I've got a collection of decks, which I actually love the artwork as much as the using the decks themselves. For progression, growth, understanding. I try not to use the decks to predict the future. I mean, yeah, sometimes it will give a bit of a prediction, although I always say it will only give you like a snapshot of something. It can't give you the whole picture, the big picture. And as I always say, because of free will, our free will, the free will of others, is always more important and 1,000 times more powerful than any reading can ever be. So Just trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. Yeah, this the awakening led me to tarot, and I actually feel now, after working regular jobs, I've been an administrator, I've done a little bit of retail, I've never felt like it was right for me, and I've racked my brain for years trying to figure out what do I want to do. And I felt for a long time that I had no ambition, no passions. I knew I had interests, like I like writing. Obviously I'm into spiritual stuff, but I never considered that it's something that I could pursue as part of my path. It's always been, oh well, that's just something I do for in my leisure time. But I am actually feeling now, hence why I started this channel, that this could actually be a major part of my path, and I need to share messages and do something more with it other than keep it to myself. So yeah, as I say, if you would like to share your stories, experiences, etc. with spiritual awakening, feel free. I'd love to hear it. I probably will talk about spiritual awakening more in the future. Whether or not I reveal the full story of the triggering in 2018, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. So what I wanted to do today, I was contemplating doing an actual spread, like a tarot spread, how I usually do it, like the past, present, future energies, etc. But I thought, you know what, awakening is such a unique, personal, individual thing. It didn't feel right. So I thought what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to get some of my oracle cards, and I'm going to get oracle messages that will hopefully help anyone who is at the start of their awakening, in the process of awakening, wherever you are. If you feel like you're experiencing awakening, or you're just interested in seeing what comes up, we'll have a look at some oracle messages and see if they can be useful. I mean, I personally know that tarot videos have and getting into tarot has helped me on my path. It's helped me with my understanding and to open my mind. So hopefully it can do the same for you. So the deck I have in front of me, I've talked for long enough now. This is the Sacred Destiny deck. So we're going to start off with that one, and I'm just going to play it by ear how I do this. I have no idea what's going to come out, but hopefully it'll help anyone who is in the process of awakening. So let's see what comes out. So for anyone who's in the process of awakening, what do we need to know? Is there any messages that can help? Because it is a tough, as I say, I felt like I was losing my mind. It was a really tough process, and it was a very solitary, lonely journey. I mean, I still feel to this day like I can't even tell anyone the full story of what happened for me, because it's weird. It's really weird. And I don't just mean the feelings I experienced, but even relating to the romantic connection side. I've never told anyone the full story of that, because I feel like people will just look at me like I'm absolutely crazy. But who knows, in the future I may delve into that a bit more. So what do we need to know for those who are going to awakening? And we already have some flyers. Oh wow, we have community, and we have opportunity. Okay, I'm deciding if I actually want to use like one tarot card for each of these as well or not. So I might do that. Let's get all of the oracle cards out, and then I will decide if I'm going to use tarot to just give us a little bit more info. So the next deck I'm going to be using is a deck called Heal Yourself. Let's see what that one brings up. I mean, the community card already is just making me think. I just mentioned that my journey and it was very solitary. I mean, I have readers that that some of them that I've followed throughout the whole 5-year process. Some of them have been on and off. Some of them I've I think all of them have been on and off at some point in time. Some of them I've had personal readings from, which has been amazing. I mean, I found that quite a few of them, because I've had quite a few readings over the 5 years, the stuff that they said at the time, I took it metaphorically to do with other events, but it's actually come into fruition now, and it is literal. There's no metaphors about it. What they said is literal. It's literally happening to me right now, and that's more than one of them. So to name a few that I've followed long term, BOMISPIRIT, who's now known as WATERBABY, and she's one of the, I mean, I did always want to talk about spiritual stuff and spiritual awakening, but after watching one of her videos last night, where she had some issues that she wanted to get off her chest about the spiritual community and psychosis in the community, demonization of the spiritual community and stuff like that. I mean, check out BOMISPIRIT if you want to check her out. It kind of inspired me to today to do this. I'm not saying I didn't think I was going to do it anyway, but just today I was like, yeah, actually now's the time. So there's BOMISPIRIT. There's an amazing lady called Jay. Her what do you call it, channel is called Aquarian Insight. She's not on YouTube anymore. She's moved over to Odyssey now, but she's absolutely amazing. She's someone that I've followed for the whole 5 years. Who else? Tamaj Tarot. She's been really helpful as well. I'm just trying to think. Oh, Eric from Divine Conversations as well. He's been amazing. So there you go. I think I'm going to be talking quite a lot in this, so bear with me. Right, we've got a flyer here. Oh, self-love. Yep. I mean, that was going to be an obvious one. You can see we've got the glare, me and the dreaded glare on this this setup. I think I'll get one more. This may be quite a long reading, to be honest, and I was going to try keep it to half an hour, but I've already chatted rubbish for 10 minutes, so one more card. What do we need to know about spiritual awakening? Are there any message that can help anyone? And we have faith. And that does make sense as well. I had to have a lot of faith during this whole journey that I was sane. To be frank, that was the main thing I had to have faith about, because it didn't feel like it. And to have faith that everything would turn out okay in the end, which I feel like it is now. I feel like I'm at peace more than I ever have been in my life. And I don't mean my life is perfect. I'm not rich or anything like that, but yeah, I feel at peace with myself and who I am, and I still have a long way to go. It's a lifelong learning process, because I think I still probably fear a little bit of judgment, or a lot of judgment, about some of the spiritual stuff I'm into, but I'm just going to have to learn to deal with it somehow, aren't I? So we'll see. I mean, my job, my actual day job, I'm a support worker, and I when I got into that job, it wasn't my ideal job. So at first I was like, oh, this is not me, this is not who I am. But I actually realized it is who I am. Maybe not that specific job, but I feel like maybe part of my path is I'm meant to be, I guess, a spiritual support worker, because I don't really label myself as like a spiritual teacher or guide or anything like that, because my thoughts are whatever messages I give, they're to help other people to do what they need to do for themselves. It's not me telling anyone what to do. So that's why I say maybe I am more of a spiritual support worker. So this deck now is the Power of Surrender deck. So any more messages for what will help anyone going through spiritual awakening? I guess it's going to be 2 cards for every deck. I was only going to get 1 from each, but we have Surrender the Drama and Surrender to Silence, and those actually go absolutely perfectly together. Absolutely perfect, and I know exactly what that means. But as I say, I'll get all the cards out first and then we'll talk about it. So next we have, let's just check I've got the right deck. It is the Oracle of Shadows and Light. So let's see what comes out for that. As you can see, I've got more crystals today. I have citrine, which is the yellow one, clear quartz, which is the white one, amethyst again, moonstone again, and the chalcedony again. And I did, in the previous video I did the Virgo love reading, I explained in the description box what the chalcedony was for, and it is great for cleansing emotional energy, amongst other things. So if you would like to know anything more about the crystals, I don't sell them, but just put a comment in the comment section and I'll give a bit more info on that. Right, so Shadows and Light deck. Do we have any more messages regarding anyone going through spiritual awakening? What do they need to know? What will help? That was very awkward the way it came out. Yeah, we'll try it again. If the same message has come out, then it's meant to be. Let's see. We've got Release Your Power. I absolutely love that card, that Release Your Power card. May end up with a glare on this, unfortunately, or I can move the lamp out of the way. Let's shift the lamp back a little bit and see if I can do it without getting my big head in the view. That is a bit better, isn't it? I am still contemplating the setup and lighting and stuff like that, so I'm okay with how it is right now, but maybe there's always room for improvement, isn't there? Okay, and let's get one more from this deck since we're just going twos for everything. And this one wanted to give 3. It says, please don't lose hope, and a wonderful idea, the aha moment. I was actually planning to read from the book with these, but I may have to reconsider, because otherwise it's going to be like a 2-hour reading. But we'll see. I might read it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't want to hear all of the oracle message, you can fast forward through it, can't you? I'd rather give the full picture and then you do the information what you want. That's going to have to stay down there. Let's move you here to give a bit of balance. Okay, so the next deck that we have is the Lantern Oracle. I haven't used this one. I've used it, but not very much. It's quite a deep, like it goes deep. And some of the messages, you really have to think hard to get to grips with them. The messages are quite long, but I thought it would be a good deck to use for this type of reading because it is so deep. So let's hope if only one card comes out for this deck, then I will leave it at the one, because it is, the messages, as I say, they are really deep, intense and long. And yeah. Anything else we need to know for those going through spiritual awakening, please? Okay. Oh, we've got 2. Okay. We'll work with it. We'll work with what we've got anyway. Oh, wow. We have home. Remember what I said about coming home to yourself? And we have inner integration. So the messages they are making sense 100%. I mean, without even reading from the book or anything, I can see how they're making sense. And the final deck that we have is Oracle of the Shapeshifters. So that's this deck here. Let's give that one more shuffle. Okay, one more shuffle. I just pray that my battery doesn't run out while I'm recording this as well. That would be a bit of a disaster, but anyway. Right, anything else we need to know from the Shapeshifters deck about awakening, spiritual awakening? Oh, wow. Okay, we have, it is time to become a great leader. Should I get one more for that? I think, you know what, I will. It will be the only card that's the odd one out if I only get one, so. Okay. And we have Deep Dark Sea Mermaid, find solutions in the unknown places, in the darkness. This all makes, I mean, it's not like a formal reading, well, not formal, but you know, the usual reading where you go through the different parts and energies. This is just cards coming out to give us guidance or support. I'll say support. So let me get the tarot cards ready. So I'm using the Spellcasters deck for this. Although, as I say, to me the messages are pretty clear, so I guess anything that comes out with the tarot is just a bit of an enhancer, isn't it, really? Right, so we have, the first cards that came out were community and opportunity. So let's get one for community. My deck is actually in reverse. We have the Queen of Pentacles, so I'm going to move those into the middle just for a minute while we see what we get. So you got Queen of Pentacles. Let's turn the deck the right way, and for opportunity, what do we get here? That flew. We have the Hanged Man. Okay. So for this community card, it is pretty much self-explanatory. In terms of spiritual awakening, I would say that this is where, if you are able to get support from anyone while you're going through this experience, then get it. And it may not be the people closest to you that you can get the support from. And it would mean that community is give and take, isn't it? So you would hopefully be able to support anyone else who's going through it as well. It's collaboration. It may not be the people that you're closest to. As I said, I feel like yes, I've touched on the subject of what I've been through with people, but I still feel like I've never been able to give the full story of everything that happened and everything I felt. And yeah, I just feel like people would view me as mad. But I think that we should try to find like-minded people that we can share our experiences with and our stories with. As I say, that may be an online community. If you're lucky enough to know people in your physical life who've had these sort of experiences, then you can share your stories with them, and that will help you to nurture yourself. We've got the Queen of Pentacles here, and I feel like she's nurturing herself and her worth and what she values in this card. So community would be important. I mean, as I say, I went through it alone, but if you can get support, then go for it. Right, and then we have opportunity and the Hanged Man. And together, the way I see this is that when you have an awakening, because in one of the personal readings I had, the Hanged Man was one of the cards that came up in that reading where it made the reader ask me the question, have you been through a spiritual awakening, or has this involved, because it was a love reading I had, has this relationship or situation with this person caused you to have an awakening? And I was like, yeah. I mean, the Hanged Man, to me, this Hanged Man, he literally looks like he's in a cocoon. That's where the transformation is happening, where your perspectives are changing, your beliefs are changing. So with the spiritual awakening, as hard as it is and as horrible as it can feel, and it is painful, I mean, there were times where I was literally ugly crying, shouting out by myself in bed, help me to, and I don't know who, because I'm very spiritual, I have beliefs, but I'm not religious, so I don't know who I was asking for help, but I was shouting help me, and it was just me in the house. But the spiritual awakening is an opportunity to completely transform, to change your beliefs, your perspectives, everything. So that's what that means. That's my interpretation. And then we have faith and self-love. So let's get a tarot card each for that. I mean, they are pretty self-explanatory, but we'll do it anyway, just in case there's any little bit of enhancement we need for the message. So one for self-love, please. Oh, wow, okay. And the Hierophant. So we've got 9 of Wands and the Hierophant for the self-love card. And then for have faith, what do we get for have faith, please? Oh no, loads came out. Do I take this one? No. We've got the 3 of Swords that has come out, and I'm not saying that's wrong. I feel that is right, but I'm going to, because they just kind of fell out, these are another bunch of slippery cards as well, so sometimes you can't tell. Let's do have faith, please. 1 card for have faith. Okay. We have the 2 of Wands. Right, so for the self-love card, it's self-love is part of the journey. It's learning self-love. It's loving yourself through the awakening process itself. And I mean, it's important to love yourself anyway, but it will be particularly important because, as you can see in the 9 of Wands card here, she's really defensive. I kind of see, it's like she's a caged animal. It's almost like she's a caged animal. And it's not that she is feral or vicious, but it's like, you know, in people, if someone got tortured for years and then they became feral, it's where you have to look out for yourself. We've got the Hierophant here, and the Hierophant can be traditions, rules, regulations. I would say here, this is making sure that you love yourself enough that you can protect yourself, because on the spiritual path, you are going to get people who reject your beliefs, and they don't have to agree with you, but they can be malicious with it as well. I mean, I've had an experience where a new spiritual shop opened near where I live, and I went in there for the first time, and outside the shop there were two religious people. I'm not going to say what religion they are because I'm not here to bash people's religions, regardless of whether I agree with it or not. But there were two religious people telling me not to go into the shop, and I don't think I have to elaborate on that. I went in the shop, I came out of the shop, same people tried to talk to me again. I was being polite because I'm generally quite a polite person, although that's changing now because sometimes I think I'm too pleasant to people and then they take the piss with me. But I was saying to the person, oh, well, I disagree, etc., etc. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. And I'm trying to walk off and walk home. The person followed me down the street and was going on about the devil and blah, blah, blah. And to be frank, in retrospect, I kind of wish I'd just said fuck off before they even had a chance to say anything, but I didn't. But that's what I mean, that you're going to have people that are really horrible and harsh, and it could even be friends, family, whoever, but you need to be strong enough in your own sense of self and self-love and self-worth and self-nurturing that you can deal with that. You can't prevent it from happening, but you can love yourself enough and feel that you're not doing anything wrong, that you're just following your own path, that you'll be able to stand up to it. And it doesn't always mean that you have to argue with people. Maybe sometimes you just quietly walk away and ignore them. However you need to do it. But that's how I take that. And then we have, put that back there. We have faith with the Two of Wands. You will need to have faith during spiritual awakening, because it can feel like absolute shit and you just feel like did I? I'm trying to think if there were any points where I felt like I don't want to do this anymore, and actually I'm not sure if I did feel that way. But either way, you do have to have faith that it will turn out okay. And that doesn't mean that you go through one big awakening and that's it, done. You're awakened for the rest of your life and that's it, you've done the challenge. Things will come up. There'll always be healing, there'll always be learning, there'll always be growth. But have faith that you'll be able to deal with things better and better each time, which I think is something that's happened to me. And hopefully that continues, that every time something comes up where I start to feel like shit and feel like I'm struggling and I can't do it, that I'll learn to deal with it better and better each time. And the Two of Wands here, to me, that's choices. Trust, have faith that you will make the right choices and you are capable of making the right choices and being on the right path. Trust that you are on the right path. As I say, as much as awakening can feel completely crazy, trust that this is the path you're on for a reason. So, just make sure the glare isn't too intense. We've got the Power of Surrender cards, and I think that relates to what I just said in terms of that little story I shared about being followed down the street by a religious person that was trying to tell me that I'm basically following the devil, even though I actually don't. I actually choose not to believe in the devil, and even if the devil is real, I choose not to give any of my attention or thoughts to it or to speak to it, because I feel that if I do those things, then it would give it power. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a shit if the devil's real or not, but I choose not to believe in it. So there we go. So we've got surrender to silence and surrender the drama. So we'll do surrender the drama first, which, as I say, I think is related to when people come in and they try to create drama with you, don't they? Because they disagree with what you believe in. We have the Eight of Cups here with that, and that just says walk away. Yeah, sometimes just walk away. We have surrender to silence, and I'll go into them a bit more in a second. So clarifier or tarot card to enhance the surrender to silence card. We have justice. Okay, I get that. So surrender the drama. It says, no matter how emotionally charged the situation, remain calm and don't contribute to the drama. Staying centered will help resolve the issue more quickly. So yeah, again, I just feel like that's where people come in and they don't believe what you believe and they try to demonize you. just walk away. And it can also be where in your life there are things that are going on that you just don't feel are right. Like it could be, what examples can I think of? Say if you chose a career path, say if you were meant to choose a more spiritual career path, but instead you chose something completely different, maybe something corporate. And I know that's like the obvious go-to really, but I can't think of anything else. You chose corporate and it's full of competitiveness and, you know, everybody's out for themselves kind of attitude. Surrender that drama. You are within your rights to leave that behind and get the ninth cup. I mean, this is the Eight of Cups. You can walk away. And also, just anything other people say to put you off and to make you feel like what you are going through or what you believe in is bullshit. Just walk away if you have to. And you may choose to walk away silently, or you may choose to give them the middle finger on the way out, but that's up to you. So we have surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within you. Silence can heal and replenish you, and with that we have justice. So again, it's walking away, because, and this can refer to going into hermit mode as well, sometimes where you need to be alone, you need the solitude, not forever, because no man is an island, but you need the time to be able to think for yourself. One of the things that I had to do, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love tarot. I was part of a community relating to spirituality as well, but it got to a point where I kind of became obsessed with fixing myself and growth, to the point where I was kind of forcing it. So I was really immersed in this stuff, and it got to a point where I thought, actually, I don't even know if the ideas I have are mine anymore within the spiritual community itself, because I'm taking all this in, I'm absorbing everything like a sponge. Where am I in all of this? Am I thinking for myself anymore, or am I just sort of following everyone else? So I had to back away a little bit from tarot and the spiritual community, not because they did anything wrong, but just because I needed to make sure that I was hearing and listening to my own voice. And in doing so, that did work. It brought me balance and fairness, and I started to hear my own voice again. I don't necessarily mean literally, but I felt like I was thinking for myself again. And that was a good thing, because I think my growth kind of got stunted when I was too heavily involved in everything else, and it kind of gave me the space to grow again. It didn't crowd my space. So that's what the surrender to silence can be. It's where you listen to yourself. And again, in reference to anyone telling you that what you're doing is wrong, that's where it plays a role as well. You need to listen to yourself. Sometimes you need a bit of peace and quiet to hear yourself. So next we will look at this deck, which was the Shadows and Light. We have Please Don't Lose Hope, A Wonderful Idea, the Aha Moment, and Release Your Power. Let's get a card for the Please Don't Lose Hope card. Oh wow, look at that. We get the star. I mean, that's absolutely a card of hope, isn't it? Let's take these out so we can see them all clearly. As I say, I'm debating if I'm going to read the book, or I may read something out of the book, but not necessarily the entire message. Otherwise, we might be here all day. I think for the Lantern Oracle, I'll probably have to read more, because it's, as I say, it's just so detailed. So let's get one for that, a Clockwork Pumpkin card, A Wonderful Idea, the Aha Moment. And it's really funny just looking at that Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. That is an aha, that's literally an aha moment. Okay, we have the Knight of Pentacles. And then we have Dress of Alchemy, Release Your Power. That is one of my favourite cards as well from this deck. I love reading that. We have the High Priestess. Okay. So, this one here, Please Don't Lose Hope. I mean, it's the same as the Have Faith card to me. That as hard as things get, you just have to believe in yourself and have hope. Maintain hope. Let's have a look what it says in the book. So, what number is that? That is number 6. So I'm just going to read the divination message here, which is this, because I don't feel the need to read the entire storyline for this. It says, time to stop relying on others for that comfort, warmth and sustenance that only true self-love can bring. Waiting for others to give you what you need will be a long and lonely, bone-chilling wait at this time. So look at what you already have. Turn to it and feast on it. Learn to love and appreciate the apple in your hands and save the seeds of self-love and plant them. From this one remaining magical apple comes the gift of wisdom, comes self-love, comes abundance, and comes the knowledge that you are a person who deserves to care for and love your own self. Once you take just one big bite of the juicy apple, you will be committing to helping yourself, and then you will be free of the need for approval, shelter, and rescue. There is only one true rescue, and it comes with the miracle of self-life. Go ahead, eat the apple. That's just made me think, in terms of relating to having hope, is that I did come to the conclusion a very long time ago that you have to, nobody else is going to rescue you. You have to rescue yourself. Whatever you're going through, you will always be required to rescue yourself. And yes, you may get support, which is wonderful if you do, but for the most part, it's all on you. And you have to have faith and have hope that you are strong enough to do this as well. So I'm just watching the battery, praying that it doesn't run out before we get to the end. So next we have a wonderful idea, the aha moment. And I feel like, before I even read the book, with that Knight of Pentacles there, because the Knight of Pentacles is about commitment and taking steps, taking necessary steps, isn't it? That's just the process. That's the entire process. And going through the process is where you have your epiphanies. And you can't force it either, because as I say, I've been through phases where I've tried to force healing and learning and growth, and it didn't work. It's the times that I have stepped back and said, okay, let me just get on with the day-to-day, that's life anyway, isn't it? Getting on with the day-to-day. And when I've done that, that's where the epiphanies came on, when I came along, when I was getting on with the day-to-day, rather than sitting there trying to force everything out of myself. So let's have a read of what that says. That is card number 39. So the divination message, it says, one of those aha moments is about to happen when you are paid a visit by a pure spirit of inspiration who is delivering an incredible gift. You will be given an idea and vision and epiphany. And I was just talking about epiphanies. It sources the divine realm of heavenly ideas, and its time is now. And you are the being chosen to bring it to life. It will work beautifully as long as you put the steps in place one after the other, almost like clockwork. Despite the mechanical imagery, this is no mechanical idea, although it will no doubt be very inventive, and it could concern a brilliant solution to a mechanical problem. That's what I was saying, that the solutions come when you take a step back. It is sparkling, pure genius. Never forget that Thomas Edison dreamed the light bulb, so please don't doubt your intuitive self when it comes to the delivery system for this wonderful innovation that you are in charge of. So this could also be relevant to, on your path, choosing what direction you want to go in and taking the steps towards that, and being committed to the steps and to yourself as well. So I'll put that one back like that. Okay, and this one here says, Dress of Alchemy, release your power, and it's with the High Priestess. And to me, that's just the power of your spiritual self with the High Priestess, because the High Priestess is the spiritual self. So whether it means you have gifts, if you're psychic, you have the clairsenses, telepathy, whatever you have, release your power. Don't be afraid to be who you are, to show who you are. I mean, yes, you will need to protect yourself from some people and in some situations, but you have these, everybody, I've said before that I don't believe in chosen ones, as in there's only some people that are chosen and somebody's more special than anyone else. I don't think that. I think everybody on the planet is chosen for something, and it might not be spiritual. That's something that someone's chosen for. It might be something very simple, but it still has value as part of the bigger picture of life. So let's look at that. That's card 33. So divination message, please take time. Have I got the right one yet? Please take time to clear from your own sacred energy field jealousy, envy, fear, and guilt. So I would be careful here as well, where it says release your own power. I know that I've done it. You know that saying, comparison is the thief of joy, where because I felt like because I didn't acknowledge that the spiritual path was my like full-on path. Like I acknowledged it was there, but it felt like it was more in the background rather than being the center of my world. And I was always comparing myself, saying, oh, why can't I just be ambitious like everybody else, or this, that, or the other? And be careful of comparing yourself to other people. You're unique, you're an individual, as we all are, and your path is your path, no one else's, and vice versa. So once you are clear, welcome in bright, strong, powerful, healthy energy. After this has taken place, expect symbols and signs to pour in. Keep your energy strong and bright and follow the signs. When your energy is strong and bright, when you come from a place of love, courage and wisdom, you will attract the right signs and will not be misled. Do not expect to have no change after her arrival. Relationships and situations based on ego-centered concepts containing toxic energies will fall away naturally, and you will now ask for your worth. This is not hubris, in brackets overweening pride. It is self-love in action. So yeah, you deserve the life that you desire. And you shouldn't feel the need to compare yourself to anyone. And yes, the signs, once you, I guess the word is surrender and accept your path and who you are, the signs definitely do come in. And they probably come in before, but because you accept the path that you're on, you recognize them more. So let's put that one back and move on. Hopefully you can see all of them. Okay, so I'm tempted to go over here first to the Shapeshifters deck. Should I do the Shapeshifters deck first? No, we'll stick with how the cards are set up. So this card, number 40, Inner Integration. There is peace, equilibrium, and fulfillment in integrating the inner wild with the taming and tempering effect life has on us. I feel that that's integrating the spiritual and physical sides of your life, and I guess all aspects of yourself as well. Because spirituality is wonderful, but we still have to live in the real world, don't we? So whenever I do make tarot videos or give messages, I try to make it something that is useful in real life as well, because I spent a long time, as I say, I got kind of addicted to all the spiritual stuff, but then it's like, it's amazing and it's inspiring and it's wonderful, but how can I actually use it in my real life to move forward? So let's get a tarot card for that one. Inner Integration. If the Three of Pentacles comes up for this one, I wouldn't be shocked, but we'll see. We get the Ten of Pentacles, which is that's your real life, your real world. And Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like bringing things back down to earth with that. Seven of Pentacles is where you put your physical energy and your time. Ten of Pentacles, I suppose that would be the final result of all of that, wouldn't it? So let's put that here. And then we have the Home card. As I said, I feel like this is coming home to yourself. And it says, may your body be where a harmonious balance of love, strength, light and pleasure live. So to, yet again, coming home to yourself, or feeling at home in yourself as well. Let's get one for that, and then I will check out the book. Oh, and now the Three of Pentacles comes out. So I think these two cards together are very much about integration. Integration of everything within yourself, all aspects of yourself, the shadow side, the light side, everything, and integration of your spiritual self into the real world as well. Let me get the book and see how long these messages are, and if I can do a briefer part of the message as opposed to reading like 3 pages worth of a message, because it is quite intense. Oh wow, this is really long. Do I want to read this? Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to read it. If you don't want to listen to it, then fast forward through the video right now. So, Inner Integration. Throughout our lives, we go through many phases and versions of ourselves, and that's what happens when you have an awakening. You go through many phases and versions of yourself. We explore different roles, terrains, experiences, and company. At each stage of human development, we are mostly physiologically and psychologically attuned to the archetypal consciousness of either maiden, mother, guardian, or crone. Broadly speaking, each archetypal energy is a life stage or cognitive window that shapes and contains the ways we are capable of perceiving, processing, and engaging with life throughout that phase. Each facet or version of ourselves is, in and of itself, incomplete, wild, raw, and uncut, so to speak, especially upon entering into a new life phase. We learn to find our way and adjust as we go. This takes time, experience, and increasing maturity tame us as we slowly master the maiden, mother, guardian, and crone energy. Eventually, our rough edges get worn down to a smooth surface, and we become increasingly adept at recognizing the red flags and which battles are necessary to fight. Drawing this card is the Crone's Blessing. It represents that you are ready to advance further in your self-integration. This may be a time for gaining much peace and appreciation from reviewing each stage of your life up until this point. During this period of self-reflection, journal the significant events, people, preoccupations, and epiphanies that stand out for you. Notice how they have influenced different versions of yourself. Highlight all of the traits that you love about each version. For example, the energy and wonder of your youth, the bold conviction of your teens, the openness, love, and idealism of your young adulthood, or the self-knowledge, confidence, and insight of the guardian. The featured crone offers to hold you in her serene consciousness while you imagine your spirit self as the light and your lifespan as a kaleidoscope. It does not matter which way you turn the knob, which colours arise, or how the patterns emerge and dissipate. It is always the spirit of self that shines its brilliant light through. If the kaleidoscope of your life has ever been tampered with in ways that seemed to block your light, look again. Your light is always illumined. I've never heard that word before. I thought it was illuminated. Illumined and glistened through what clouded in. Should your light ever be tampered with in the future, always remember that your spirit self continues. It cannot be extinguished. Every colour, experience, and facet of you is always present and available to be expressed, translated, and integrated through the kaleidoscope of your life and body. The Crone's message is: integrate what you love and what continues to resonate from previous versions of yourself. Live the harmony of your wild through your tame. So I think that's enough. What else can I say after that? That's an amazing message. A long one, but amazing. So let's do the home card next and see, what this one says. So the home one. May your body beware a harmonious balance of love, strength, light, and pleasure lives. The body is to be enjoyed. Pleasure is not an indulgence, it is essential. Yes, it definitely is. The crone featured in this card enjoys a state of bliss in the natural springs where her body is revitalized, nourished, and restful. She supports you in distinguishing true from false pleasure and prioritizing your body's needs for revitalization, respect, and love. Our bodies will always do their best for us, regardless of how each of us neglects our body or fails to fuel it with moderate nourishment, exercise, and pleasure. Even when we cannot or do not provide our bodies with a calm and safe environment or company, it remains our loyal and loving friend. It is always on our side, even when we judge it as inadequate. However, it does need our love, care, and attention in return, and not our punishment or neglect. For ongoing deprivation will deplete the body to a point where it cannot continue to run on empty. Burnout will occur, and illness and injury can ensue. Drawing this card may signal that it is time to befriend your body, to love, maintain, and care for it as you would your most treasured and loving possession, for it is the most valuable material item that you will ever own. Whatever you give it, it gives back tenfold. Love is the best kind of food. This includes the way you allow others to relate to and to engage with your body. If the interaction is not loving and does not genuinely support your bliss, confidence and value than lose it. The momentary pleasure we enjoy from overeating chocolate, watching too much TV, or having loveless sex is ultimately unhealthy and unable to give you or your body what is truly beneficial. The same goes for depriving our bodies of various nourishment or forcing it into shapes and sizes that we are told are beautiful but do not feel authentic or comfortable. Write down all of the things that you are grateful to your body for and how you mistreat, neglect, and deprive it. Apologize to your body and list ways you can turn any unloving behaviors into loving ones. Crohn's message is your body has and always will be the house you keep here. The acceptance, love, gratitude, gentleness, respect, honor, and pleasure it deserves starts with you. And I feel like it's not that message as much as it is about the physical body. I feel like it's you hold the whole self, the spiritual self as well. It's take care of yourself. So finally, let's just put these back. We are going to the Shapeshifters deck. Can you see that? Nope, done it the wrong way. So the Shapeshifters deck, we're going to get a couple of tarot cards for that. So for Deep Dark Sea Mermaid, which says find solutions in the unknown places in the darkness. To me, that's looking at your shadow side. Let's see what comes out for that. Oh wow, Tower. Okay. The shadow side. And you notice how the colours complement each other on the cards as well. Yeah, that's I mean, that was another card that came up as well as Hanged Man when I had my reading where the reader picked up on Spiritual Awakening, the Tower and the Hanged Man. And I think Death was there as well. But that's the shadow side, and that's, again, it's part of the transformation. It's epiphanies, etc. Let's get one for that Elizabeth in the Lion. It is time to become a great leader. And I think it's more so a leader to yourself, but it can be to others if you have gifts that you want to share. But you will always lead yourself first. And I saw a quote recently, and I can't remember the exact quote, but it was something about being a leader among leaders, which I thought was fantastic. You know how we're always labelled as either a sheep or a follower and a leader? No, sometimes everybody can be a leader because we've all got sovereignty. So Elizabeth in the Lion, it is time to become a great leader. And again, with that, we're all leaders and we are all followers at different times in our lives. So there shouldn't be any shame in that. Seven of Swords, that's taking a risk to me. And again, I've said it before, yes, the Seven of Swords can be about deception, lies, etc. But I take it to be a risk. Take the risk to become a leader if that's something you need to do. So we'll have a quick look in the Shapeshifters book at that Deep Dark Sea Mermaid. Oh, wow, and it's both number 16. I've just realised, look at that. Wow, that's amazing. Both number 16. That comes down to a 7 in numerology, and I can't remember what 7s mean. So if anybody would like to share that, then go for it. But that's a 7 as well, the 7 of Swords. So let's see, number 16. Find solutions in the unknown places in the darkness, and we will just get the divination message. New discoveries about your own capabilities are happening now. The energy you send and receive becomes known to you. You see the relationship between what you feel, send, and create in your own life. It all becomes clear where once it was frightening. Now you can see beauty of this responsibility. A radical truth. And a tower is a radical truth. It's an epiphany, isn't it? A radical truth, you are responsible. You may be interested in energy sources and scientific breakthroughs. Wise wizards like Nikolai, that's right, isn't it? Nikolai Tesla and Albert Einstein and their theories may appeal to you at this time. You will consider ancient technologies that have long lain dormant. You will explore the Earth's energy grid and the power that can be held and that can flow through deep waters. Deliberately obscured origins of ancient secrets will be coming to light. Wireless power and communication, telepathy, underwater archaeology, the discovery of ancient places, secrets held beneath the waters of the world and beneath the waters of your psyche. The source of your emotions will become clear. That's a deep dive too. Obviously you face the shadows when you do a deep dive, but you discover gifts as well, don't you? The gifts that you have, you discover hidden knowledge. That's really interesting. I'm just fascinated by the fact that they're both 16, and it's just, yeah, coincidental. So finally, Elizabeth and the Lion, it is time to become a great leader. And if this is about discovering gifts as well and abilities, then again, that's using them. So card number 20 says, it's time to become a great leader. The divination message is, you must make a stirring speech, manage a troubled group of people, face a great threat, and somehow manage with meager resources. You are a leader. You will triumph if you remember the flow of blood that runs through you has courage and staying power. Nothing will make you back down. You will hold out, outwit, and come to victory again and again. Understand that at present what you represent has immense symbolic power. That is a heavy statement. Just being yourself and accepting your path, it's a heavy statement, and it speaks to others as well, doesn't it? When you just show up as yourself, and it inspires others to show up as themselves too. You must dress and speak the part, and for a time you must put your energy toward a much greater cause. There are people and beings who rely upon your example, which is what I was just saying, that if you show up as yourself, then it'll inspire others. Yeah, people who rely on your example. You'll be promoted, and with this great new blessing will come great responsibility. You are up for the challenge, and I did say that the Seven of Swords is a risk, isn't it? Which a risk challenge kind of go hand in hand. You are up for the challenge again and again and again. Like it or not, you are a leader. Now show you can be a great one. Okay, so there's some interesting messages there. Hopefully that has been really helpful to anyone who is experiencing a spiritual awakening. As I say, I didn't feel like it was right for me to do a spread with an actual storyline, because the journey is just too individual and too unique. If you, as I say again, if you would like to comment or share your story, your experiences, if you want to ask any questions, you are completely welcome to. If you would like to share the video with anyone who you feel it will be useful to, go ahead. Thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping to do more videos based on spirituality, which is one of the reasons I've wanted to start the channel, is the spiritual side of things. And I'll be doing more videos about awakening probably, and more of the embracing themed videos too. So thanks for watching again, and take care.